on KBC Channel 1.
Friday night again.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
The festival, famous for uniting Nairobi through music, dance, and vibrant color play, returned louder and brighter, marking a bold close to the 2025 outdoor party season. For 13 years, DocuBox has been quietly shaping how East Africa tells its documentary stories. DocuBox has become a cornerstone of the region's independent documentary film ecosystem.
Growing up, I listened to a lot of rumba, and so I incorporate a lot in my sound. And so, what I'm trying to do is to just modernize it a bit, but to also give you the feeling of ile rumba. Ukisikia rumba, yeah, you relate.
Why are you experimenting with people's health?
Sasa hizi mambo gani ule matupe ananiweka?
Wewe mwenyewe ndio alisema kila mtu mahali huko akue mbunifu.
Kwani hata leo umepika?
Sasa hii mbulu inaenda, utajua kule utaipeleka. Na kama
Mugaka. Zindaona hata mezenji.
Be patient.
Ati niwe mungondo mugaka we.
Kasi yako nagua hapa ama inagua kule.
Wewe usijichoche, Mungu amekabili rungu yako wewe. Ningekuwa nimekuzima kitambo sana.
Hi Pip.
You are not my type.
Pandangase na shukanga. Wow, kasto umefika kumbe.
A gentleman afai kukula na koti.
Na hapa atufanyangi hizo ni games. Nenda mbele siagwa. Nenda mbele siagwa.
Was to get rid of us so that we won't find out about his relationship with Lucia. You're wrong. She destroyed my life. On the contrary, let me tell you that I saw Marcella first and not her.
Why are you so interested in knowing?
Because that darn woman abused the trust that we gave her when we had her in our house. And she's the one who killed the person that's very dear to all of us.
A small apartment you have here, but, well, it really looks a bit cute. Ah!
Why don't you take off your mask and tell me what you really want? Do you want to steal my husband from me?
Good afternoon. Welcome to Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru, and we shall be taking a look at the news prepared this afternoon. Now, to kick off this broadcast, a herder in Kajiado County is counting losses amounting to millions of shillings after his 14 camels were killed in a road accident along Namanga Highway last night. The herd was ran over by a speeding truck that killed 14 animals on the spot and injured several others. The animals are said to have strayed from a nearby homestead. Motorists have been urged to observe traffic rules along the busy highway to avoid accidents during this festive season. Nevertheless, it was Christmas come early for the locals who jostled for free meat from the dead animals.
Imetoka kwa poma, imepotea Juni saa 10, alafu wakafika hapo saa 3, saa 2:30 vitu kama hizi, wakafika kwa barabara, wakakutana kwa gari, wakagonga ameua hapo kwa barabara. Almost 6 ako sahi injury, zingine imepatikana, zingine imepotea.
Ni hasara kubwa sana. Jamii karibu milioni 4.5 ameuawa na hii gari, na madereva ametoroka, na watu wa kuchunga kuwa na gari wametoroka, hawako. Sasa gari tuko naye hapa, sijui kama ameenda kwa hiyo ama nyingine.
In other news, a section of residents from Ukuru-Kajenga are urging the government to clearly state the specific areas earmarked for affordable housing project, saying the lack of clear information has created a state of fear and confusion on the ground. The residents claim that some individuals and groups are hiding behind the affordable housing agenda to intimidate locals into vacating their homes, even in areas that have not been officially marked for development. They alleged that land cartels are taking advantage of the uncertainty to issue threats and spread misinformation, forcing families to live without a formal notice.
Cartels wamekuja hapa, tulisema ya kwamba ukiona mwenzako ananyolewa, tia yako nini? So sasa sisi hatunge nyamaza kule kwa jenga, na nyinyi hapa mko na shida. Hii shida mko nayo, ninataka kuwaelezea. Sio shida kutoka kwa office of the president. Wale wenye wanajifanya hapa ati na macrown, ati wanakuja hapa kuwadanganya, ati sasa Mohamed, sijui mara Sepu, sijui mara nini. Musifanye nini? Hakuna kufanya nini?
Wale wanatupiga vita. Vile mnenaji moja amesema, Mokorina amesema ya kwamba kuna watu wamekificha under affordable housing kuterrorize wananchi maskini wa Mungu.
And now on education matters, the Principal Secretary for Interior and National Government Coordination, Dr. Raymond Omolo, has reaffirmed President William Ruto's commitment to increased funding in the education sector. Speaking in Nyatike during separate engagements, Dr. Omolo said about 30% of the national budget is allocated to education to facilitate the recruitment of teachers and the construction of learning facilities across the country. He noted that the government plans to recruit at least 100,000 teachers to address existing shortages, alongside the construction of more than 23,000 classrooms and 11,000 laboratories worldwide.
And this speaks to how valuable or how important education is to His Excellency President William Ruto. That as we close the year, the President will have hired a record 100,000 teachers, something that is unprecedented. That in under 3 years, we have done 23,000 classrooms and more than 15,000 laboratories across the country, and we are continuing to do this.
I will be elected because I'm going to oppose William Ruto so that I get my vote. I want to caution you that if you don't get development in your area of jurisdiction, there will be no vote for you.
Now, calls for urgent reforms in Kenya's mining sector are gaining momentum, with engineers raising concerns that the country's mineral wealth is benefiting outsiders at the expense of citizens. Speaking at the Mining Engineers Society of Kenya Gala Dinner, Institution of Engineers of Kenya President, Engineer Shama Kiteme, challenged professionals to push for a new mining approach, questioning the continued export of raw materials and the missed job opportunities for young engineers. He says meaningful reforms could turn the sector into a key driver of employment, industrialization and economic self-reliance.
What are you doing when mining licenses are issued to foreign firms so that we only get royalties? And I know we get 4%, and out of that 20% shared to some entities and 10%. What are you doing when these firms poise to get our own gold and to benefit shareholders seated in London as we just take share of taxes, royalties, and unquantified revenue? What are you doing? Why can't we mine this gold locally, process it in Kenya and export? How many job opportunities can we create if we go this route? As opposed to the situation whereby we only get royalties.
Azerbaijan has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthen partnerships with Kenya in urban planning, sustainable development and climate change mitigation. During a recent visit to the country, Azerbaijan's Deputy Minister of Environment and the nation's ambassador to Kenya expressed readiness to host the 13th World Urban Forum in Baku in May 2026, following the country's recent global climate engagements. The leaders say the forum will build on Kenya's role in advancing environmental action and bring together global stakeholders to shape the future of safe, resilient and sustainable cities.
His Excellency Ilham Aliyev, we hosted one of the successful COP29, which brought together governments, international organizations and stakeholders from across the globe to advance climate action and climate finance. We deeply appreciate Kenya's active and constructive participation in COP29, which contribute meaningful to the negotiation and outcomes.
This direct link between urban development and environment-related issues, climate change, it's well known that the battle for saving our environment is to be won or lost in the cities, because cities can be a major source of the problems, but it can also offer very interesting solutions. But this is very much at the heart of the approach of my government, which is promoting importance of system-based approach in managing wide range of urban development issues, while also making sure we don't forget about the future of our planet.
And on health matters, health experts have raised the alarm over an increase in lifestyle-related diseases such as diabetes, hypertension and various forms of cancer that are devastating families across the country. The concern emerged during a free medical camp in Gashororo, Juja, Kiambu County, where health experts revealed that many residents are silently battling chronic illnesses due to poor access to quality health care and the high cost of medical services. Dr. Joseph Kishuri, a philanthropist in Kiambu County, urged the locals to adopt healthier lifestyles, including balanced diets and regular physical activity to combat the rising disease burden.
As the issues of depression is going up, and I believe as a community, it's a high time we ask ourselves very fundamental question: why is it that our men continue, getting depression, committing suicide?
Lifestyle diseases ni magonjwa ambayo yanaweza kuwa na kinga cha urahisi, kwa sababu haya magonjwa yanahusika na jinsi mtu anavyoishi. Iwapo mtu angeweza kujichunga mwenyewe, kujichunga kwa jinsi ambavyo anakula, kujichunga kwa jinsi ambavyo anafanya mazoezi.
Tunashukuru sana hata kwa sababu ya madaktari ambao wametutibu. Mimi nakuanga na shida ya macho na pia watoto wangu, lakini sisi zote tumetibiwa.
This is like an encouragement to the people there back at home. You can do something that can bring a positive impact to the society.
I am happy about the turn-up
We have seen young people coming forward to do branch donation, and I'm hoping it will continue so that our young people understand and everyone realizes it is our common role to ensure that our hospitals have enough branch.
Tourism stakeholders at the Kenyan coast have raised 2.2 million shillings towards a coordinated program aimed at controlling the invasive Indian house crow and protecting the region's environment, public health and tourism economy. Now speaking during the fundraising economy, Mombasa Tourism Council Chairman Dr. Sam Ikwaya said the initiative was driven by the private sector following growing concern over the negative impact of the invasive bird on tourism facilities and urban life. He revealed the county's tourism industry is losing an estimated 200 million shillings annually due to the destructive house crow species. Now, the losses have been linked to guest complaints, compensation claims, damage to outdoor facilities and rising pest control costs, which have increased over the past year.
We are going to work with the young people in the Department of Tourism and in the county. We are going to deploy the champions who have been trained already in the hotels to be able to work with the communities around the hotels, so that then the pre-baiting and baiting can happen out of the hotels as we move to the communities. And hopefully by the year 2026, we should have managed or brought down the number of crows to manageable levels.
It's not a native bird. It's a bird who was imported from either India. So he has really interfered with our natural environment, with our natural ecosystem.
We have trained our staff to count the crows very carefully so we get good data. But we also recognize that the counting is not easy when they're coming and going from the place where the poison is being put. So we estimate, actually, I would say, quite happily, I would say we've killed about 130,000 crows in North Coast.
We work with the people who are affected. In some instances, we do eliminate the most problematic ones. We sometimes trap them. Yeah. So most importantly, we do awareness.
There was joy and jubilation after 151 youth from Blessing Technical College in Kangemi graduated in a colorful ceremony attended by parents, local administrators and education stakeholders. Blessing Technical College Directors Mukuhe Keremi and the Director of Corporate Affairs, University of Nairobi, John Orindi, challenged the youth to embrace TVET institutions as a transformative pathway to practical skills to enhance employability and self-reliance. On her part, marked practitioner Zohura Othiambo noted that the management is very keen on training youth's entrepreneurship skills to run and manage their business after completing their studies.
When we empower the youth with the right skills, we are doing two things. One, we are enabling you to take care of yourself and your families, and also we are also empowering you to grow this country.
A lot of them entrepreneurs in their own skill set. We have plumbers, electricians, we have fashion designers. I mean, we have the teams from hospitality who are already serving you in your 5-star hotels.
Our institution, we did with 100% skill. We have a number of 150, but the whole of this year, it's more than that number.
Women have been challenged to take up opportunities existing within the East African community market and venture into entrepreneurship. According to statistics, 1 in every 3 business ventures in the country is owned by a woman. But despite the growth, women still find it difficult to compete with male ventures due to a range of barriers ranging from access to capital and lack of information on market availability to stiff competition from the male-dominated market. Speaking in Nairobi, Hotel Auxiliary Foundation CEO Bernice Fernandez urged East African governments to remove trade barriers to harness women-owned SMEs within the region. Her sentiments were echoed by Bitco Africa's CEO Vimal Sher, who called for an increase in capital access for women's business ventures within the region. The two-day forum featured keynote sessions, panel discussions and exhibitions from women policymakers, founders and investors from across the East African region.
It's really important to bridge the gap for women so that women can trade across borders, and our theme has been Unstoppable Women going beyond borders. When we bring women together, they're able to get exposure, they're able to connect with new women, learn from other women who are doing good business in other countries, and look for opportunities to trade and do business with each other. Women need to be equipped with resources, know the right tools, have the right networks and associations that are building the bridge to help them.
There is a need for information to be shared to them, and women can get this information by probably joining associations, by reaching out to trade portals where they can get information on the areas of interest. And most importantly, in the theme of today, Unstoppable Woman, is the woman really needs to shift her mindset, be open to see how they can unlock opportunities within intra-Africa trade and taking advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
Culture and heritage take center stage at the Luo Piny Cultural Festival, an event showcasing Luo traditions, music, cuisine and art while fostering intergenerational learning and community cohesion. We now join our reporter Wycliffe Okech for more details. Wycliffe?
Like you said it, we are coming to you live from Migori County. Specifically, we are at Rongo University. That is the venue for this year's edition of the Piny Luo Festival. This is an annual showpiece that is supposed to actually demonstrate and showcase the cultural heritage that defines the Luo community. And of course, like you can see behind me here, this is the main auditorium where the opening of the ceremony is going to happen. Today is the official opening of the ceremony. Tomorrow, this event is a 3-day event actually. It's going to happen today, tomorrow, and Friday, Wednesday, when President William Ruto will be the chief guest actually here to close this ceremony officially. But then this event has been, there's just a lot of activities that have been lined up to characterize this particular event here. But then before I say much, Mari, I have one of the members of the Luo Council of Elders, Mr. Ajiki Ondo. Actually, he's very famous in this area, is very much knowledgeable in terms of the Luo cultural activities and everything that pertains Luo. And Mzee, just if you can just talk to us a bit, look into the camera and tell our viewers, this is the 5th edition of the Piny Luo Festival. In the previous editions, what would you say has been the biggest achievement of this particular showpiece? I'll hold the microphone for you.
We have had a lot of unity coming along as a result of coming together the 4 counties, and we have had to listen to our brothers from other communities, from other countries, the same community, the Luo, who diverted earlier in history from Sudan. Some of them went to Ethiopia, some of them went to Congo, some of them went to Uganda, some of them went to West Africa. So we have brought them together, and even this today we have them here. We have their kings, we have their cultural artists, and that is giving us a good exchange as at Luo Nation, so that at the end of the day, universally, the Luo culture will be heard all over in the world.
All right. Right. And again, if I may just cut you short, we know that when we talk about the Luo community, apart from the cultural leadership, we also have the political leadership. And in the 4 editions before this one, we had the political supremo in this region, actually the late Raila Amolo Odinga, himself in association with the Luo Council of Elders, actually they brought the Luo nation together. And do you believe that with the passing of Raila Odinga, will the Luo nation still remain intact as it was before?
I can assure you, Ramogi Ajwang, our forefather, is looking at us. Even Amolo, who has gone, is looking at us. And of course, they are praying for us. Let them intercede. The Luo should follow one way. We have Burudinga as the Supremo now. We have Gladys Wanga. We have Mama Ida Odinga. We have the 4 governors. They should all come together to talk one language so that in case of anything, even the coming elections that are coming, Luos should go to the elections as a team. Unity of the Luo in Nyanza and elsewhere in Kenya.
Thank you so much. Wambiru, that is Mr. Ajiki Ondu, actually one of the members of the Luo Council of Elders, speaking to us about this entire, this whole event, the meaning, the objective, the key objective of this particular showpiece actually is to fortify and unify the Luo community such that they can chart a united front in every aspect that they undertake. We know that this showpiece was put together through the partnership of the political class that was led initially by Raila Odinga, who is the late now, but now with him gone, there is the Luo Council of Elders that Mr. Ajiki Ondu says will be able actually to ensure that the community remains intact as it is. Well, this is just the beginning. We are going to cover everything and we'll be able to update our viewers in everything that happens. For now, let me hand it back to you in studio, Jackie Wambiru.
Many thanks for that update from Rongo University in Migori County. For now, we continue with more news. Parents have been urged to invest more in the education of their children for a better and secure future. This clarion call was made in a meeting at Kasarani Group of Schools, where a section of education stakeholders reiterated the need to empower the young generation to be responsible citizens. Now, the director of Kasarani Group of Schools, Irene Kamau, hailed both teachers and learners for their commitment throughout the CBE process. Now, she said the school's dedication to nurturing practical skills has empowered learners to confidently handle tasks and prepare for the future. Kasarani Group of Schools is among the schools that recorded exemplary results in the just released Kenya Junior School Education Assessment last week, with the institution securing placement for all its candidates in top-tier senior schools.
I want to thank our parents for trusting us with their learners. Anyone who can trust you with their child, the child is the most important thing for anyone to trust you with. I could give you my car, but I can't give you my child. So anyone who gives you a child is a statement. What I would like to say concerning CBC, the CBE and the 844 is that despite the fact that the grading system has been scrapped, there is a need for everybody to know themselves. It pushes the learner to be able to understand intrinsically who they are and what they are built to do in the world. It also avoids hemorrhages and wastage of human resource in the society. So as people are being taken through the process, we have less wastage because somebody is put in where they fit.
About CBE, it is good. If you look at the syllabus as compared to 844, it is wide and it helps the learners to develop critical thinking.
CBE curriculum is fun to learn. You have practicals which you do.
Now, Kenya joins the rest of the world in marking World Minority Day, with celebrations being held at State House, Nairobi. The day highlights the rights, inclusion and protection of minority communities. Now, let's listen in.
Welcome to the Office of Presidential Special Projects and Creative Economy Coordination. Here we met today to discuss the President's biggest agenda of inclusivity. I'm joined here by PS Omi Bashir, the PS Culture, Arts and Heritage, PS Sylvia Museya, PS State Department for Wildlife, PS Dokata Idris, PS Cabinet Affairs, PS Anwa Ngombe, Gender and Affirmative Action, PS Fikirini Jacob, PS Youth and Creative Economy, PS Kela Wasama, PS The Asals. And I will then hand over that to get to the details to PS Museya to tell us a little bit.
Certain articles of the Constitution and the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. The biggest being Chapter 56 on affirmative action for minorities and marginalized communities. As you are aware, President William Ruto is running a very inclusive government, and inclusion is inclusion of regions, inclusion of economic sectors, and inclusion of all the communities or ethnic communities. For a very long time, we've been seeing delegations meeting the president on issues of agriculture, boda, MSMEs. We've also seen county delegations that go and discuss issues in infrastructure and other development matters. But in all those delegations, there is a small group of people that reside in at least 38 counties of our 47 counties who are considered ethnic minority or marginalized communities. They will be making their first grand entrance to State House on this 18th of December, which is the UN International Day for Minorities. Even though it was agreed upon in the UN in 1992, it has taken us over 30 years for Kenya to recognize it during this administration of President William Ruto. And we then started by the annual celebrations in the year 2023, 2024, and this year it is bigger, it is better, and I will allow the host PS in the Ministry of Gender, Culture, and Affirmative Action to give a few details. Thank you very much.
The PS for the State Department for Culture, the Arts and Heritage. So in the year 1992, the UN commemorated the International Day for the Minorities globally. And as a country, we had never celebrated it or acknowledged that minorities and marginalized do actually have a day that they are supposed to be celebrated. So 3 years ago, His Excellency, the President, gave the directive that the minorities and marginalized must be celebrated, and that is on that UN International Day on the 18th of December. Now, this year, on the 18th of December, that is this Thursday, we are going to be having the first Minorities and Marginalized Day being celebrated at the State House. And the chief guest is His Excellency the President. And it is a day that is going to be of pomp, of traditional troops.
Well, that was Dennis Itumbi, the head of Creative Economy and Special Projects in the Office of the President, addressing the media alongside several principal secretaries. We now take a short break. Don't go too far. We still have more news coming up.
Was to get rid of us so that we won't find out about his relationship with Lucia.
You're wrong. She destroyed my life. On the contrary, let me tell you that I saw Marcella first and not her.
Why are you so interested in knowing?
Because that darn woman abused the trust that we gave her when we had her in our house. And she's the one who killed the person that's very dear to all of us.
The small apartment you have here, but, well, it really looks a bit cute.
Why don't you take off your mask and tell me what you really want? Do you want to steal my husband from me?
The festival, famous for uniting Nairobi through music, dance, and vibrant color play, returned louder and brighter, marking a bold close to the 2025 outdoor party season. For 13 years, DocuBox has been quietly shaping how East Africa tells its documentary stories. DocuBox has become a cornerstone of the region's independent documentary film ecosystem.
Growing up, I listened to a lot of rumba, and so I incorporate a lot in my sound. And so, what I'm trying to do is to just modernize it a bit, but to also give it the feeling of ile rumba. Ukisikia rumba, yeah, you relate.
Welcome back. Now, residents of Baramoyo in Kipini area of Taita, or rather Tana River County, are now living in fear of a potential eviction after individuals claiming ownership of the land they have settled on threatened to throw them out. Now, the locals, who claim to have heavily invested in the 1,000-acre piece of land for the last 30 years, are accusing the area administration of collaborating with the said landowners, citing continued threats and intimidation from the local chief. They are now appealing to the government to intervene and protect their rights and prevent what they describe as a looming serious land tussle.
Tumezaliwa hapa na tuwa Kenya, hatuna haki ya kumiliki ardhi, na haki yetu iko wapi kama serikali haitaweza kutuangalia kujua kwamba sisi tuna miaka zaidi ya 30 hiyo yaka ambayo anasema ambayo tumeishi mahali hapa.
Kila mmoja anajua majukumu yake. Hatutaki kudhulumiwa na machifu, hatutaki kuingiliwa na Kenya polisi. Sisi tunataka, tafadhali Kindiki, makamu wa president, tunaomba hili swala tena liweke mbele, tunanyanyaswa.
Sijawahi kujua mahali kwingine ambako nimeishi ama nimezaliwa isipokuwa hapa. Hata sasa ndio kunatokea mtu anasema hapa ni mahali kwao.
Serikali ya kaunti itusikie kilio chetu, tuje tupate hati miliki zile zetu, urithi wetu. Si mtu atoke huko from nowhere alafu ajesema hapa ni kwake na karatasi zake ni gushi, maana ni fake.
And now to our interactive segment, we're joined by Antonina Almoturi, who is the Citizenship Manager at Absa Bank Kenya, to discuss innovation and how young people can be supported to develop solutions to real challenges within their communities. Welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
All right, now to kick us off, why is it important for institutions to intentionally roll out programs that empower young innovators in Kenya today?
Thank you for this opportunity again. I mean, young people are the majority of our population at the moment. If you look at the data, even in Kenya, 8 out of 10 people are young people. So they are the center of everything we do. And therefore, involving them is more of the national priority, as we know. Even organizations such as the Absa Kenya Foundation, the Absa Bank Kenya, are looking at this target group as the lead in coming up with solutions that cater to them. When you look at the world over, we are all looking at what sustainability means, and it means that we are here for, we are developing ventures that are able to last us even a century from here. So who else needs to be at the center of all our focus, if not the young people who are the majority of the population? Yeah.
Okay, now what gaps currently exist for young people with ideas but limited access to support?
I'll say young people lack a platform. I mean, they have these ideas, it's only given a chance or a platform where they can bring their ideas to the table, and having organizations such as ours to bring these ventures to the public or to give them an opportunity to scale them up, to try them out. I mean, we do get so many ideas that come into the environment, but they're not really tested. And to do that, you need coaches, you need mentors who are able to work with you in the journey. When recently, when we had a session at our offices, young people came up with ideas, but then is to look at those ideas. Do they resolve for a need in the community? How do you test them out? How do you review them? How do you look at the assumptions that are on the table and say, are they going to meet a need? And that's what organizations like ours provide, giving young people a platform and access to mentors, coaches, and also learn and network within themselves. We have seen really, it's not the lack of ideas or the skills, it's the lack of testing them out, and such organizations, or as they bring these ideas to our platform, we are able to test them out, where maybe the resources to test them out might not be there, access to mentors for free that will provide access to even the information, and therefore when you're ready to take them out to scale in our environment, is then giving you the opportunity, even the finances to do so. So those are the gaps really. We have not seen lack of skill, but it's just to test it out, to research and do a bit of work around it, then can take to market.
Right now, why do sustainable innovations matter for Kenya's long-term development and economic resilience?
I mean, when you look at the word sustainable, it's really, I'm here for the future, I'm not just here for now. And when we break down the term sustainability, really is to look at how do my venture look at the people, and how is it friendly to the environment, so that it's here for the long term. And then when you look at our population, there are many pressures that are coming in. Africa regretfully becomes one of, it's the continent that is really affected by global warming, an issue on environment thereof. So how do we look at the solutions that we bring out into the market, so that they resolve for the people, they resolve for the planet, as well as looking at how do we economically develop ourselves, how do we grow, how do we profit. So it's the looking of the planet, the people, and having a common area, so that whatever we bring out in the environment or in the market is able to sustain itself while we are growing. You're addressing, let's say, things like women inclusion. You're talking about digital accessibility to young people. So all these things are really sustainable. It's just now ensuring that we are not harming one as we focus on the other one. It's just people, profit, planet at the same time, so that it's viable.
All right. Yeah. Now, ABSA Foundation is working with MK Africa on this initiative. Why was the partnership important, and why does, or rather, what does MK Africa bring to the table?
All right. MK Africa is an organization that deals with sustainability training, training corporate individuals on what sustainable means. And through their initiative, My Little Big Thing Challenge, they are now extending that arm to young people to involve them in sustainability matters. And this anchors very well with our 3 key pillars of the foundation. The first one is on entrepreneurship. The young people that are going through the My Little Big Thing Challenge are coming up with ventures. They are entrepreneurs, which responds to our first pillar on entrepreneurs. We are preparing young people, we are readying them for what businesses look like, sustainable businesses. It also, the My Little Big Thing Challenge talks on skills. Our second pillar of the foundation is on education and skills. How do we support, how do we work with partners such as MK Africa to prepare young people with the skills to face the job market or to become employers of other young people? Talks on the third pillar, which is on natural resource management. They are coming up with sustainable ventures, ventures that talk on environment. How do we ensure we have agriculturally smart innovations? How do we look at produce, or how do we look at waste in our gardens and convert that into manure? So it responds very well with our 3 key pillars. And I mean, SDG number 17 is partnership for goals. We cannot do this alone. We'll work with organizations like MK Africa to prepare young people for the world of work out there.
All right. Now, perhaps what common values or goals underpin this collaboration between ABSA Foundation and MK Africa?
So our values is on first inclusion, including young people, because as I began with, young people make up for the population, 75%, almost 80% of young people in Kenya. 80% of our population are young people in Kenya. So it's including young people who have the solutions. In our work with young people, we have realized young people have the solutions, it's just the platform. So the first value here is on that inclusion. And then second is empowerment. Just reiterating on what I've just said, working with empowering young people who already have the skill but lack that platform, working together with MK Africa. And thirdly is we are all geared towards sustainability, ensuring that our young people are, or the ventures they come up with today is able to sustain, is able to be here many, many decades from here. And we will be proud to say these ventures maybe will have started with such a platform between MK Africa and ABSA Kenya Foundation.
All right, perhaps as we wind up, what is your final message that you would share with young people watching today who have ideas but may feel unsure on where to begin?
All right. I'll go back to one of the programs we run as the ABSA Kenya Foundation. It's called Ready to Work, which is really the anchor behind all the programs we do. Ready to Work is a platform free for young people, giving you skills as you transition from institution of higher learning into the workplace, either as an employer or an employee. Get on board there. It's free for any young people with many modules, access to opportunities. I know in my time I used to think that you need networks, but the network for young people now is Ready to Work. Go on our platforms, learn of these things, and join. In there you get opportunities like the innovation camp that you've just had last week. You get to learn about our Girl Code innovations. You get to learn about taking part in our environmental sustainability initiatives. There's a lot that we can learn once you hop onto that Ready to Work platform.
All right, thank you so much. Well, that was Antonina Mutori, who is the Citizenship Manager at ABSA Bank Kenya. We were discussing growing the next generation of African sustainability innovators. Now, moving on to other news, micro, small and medium enterprises have received training based on a 12-module curriculum aimed at improving business performance, productivity and long-term competitiveness. Principal Secretary for the State Department for MSMEs Development, Susan Mageni, says the program equips enterprises to access new opportunities and grow sustainability, supporting Kenya's broader economic transformation goals.
Has concluded the rollout of the first cohort of the Business Development Services trainings under the Kenya Jobs and Economic Transformation Project, aimed at enhancing the competitiveness of small traders. The 5-week program has been implemented across all 47 counties, reaching 94 selected clusters.
We started conversation around gaps, counter aggregation, and industrial parks to set them up in each and every county to facilitate the aggregation and then help us access markets.
The government says the initiative seeks to stimulate enterprise growth, improve market access, and support job creation through structured business development trainings and targeted investment support.
This is a government initiative na tunajua tutakuwa juu yake because wao wanataka tu ile wanaweza improve the small and micro enterprises to create wealth and also create employment to our youth and all.
PS Mangeni highlighted the transformational impact of the training, noting that many small businesses do not scale due to limited ability to negotiate competitively, adopt technology, and access finance.
The corporates, wow, with time they automate. Nowadays they go digital, they're automating. This project is about also equipping you with skills, knowledge, experiences, and exposure that you need.
Sylvia Gatti for Lunchtime News.
The planned Mai Mahiu dry port is expected to create over 100,000 employment opportunities and ease congestion of cargo at the port of Mombasa. Investment Cabinet Secretary Lee Kinyanjui says establishing the dry port would transform surrounding towns into commercial and business hubs, attracting both local and international tourists.
Potential sites for handling of imported cargo to ease pressure on the port of Mombasa that serves businesses across East and Central Africa region.
Hii special economic zone itakuwa ni kama ndio Mombasa siku zijazo. Muzigo yote ambayo inatoka kutoka Mombasa, kutoka nchi za nje, tungetaka iwe inakuja hapa.
Mai Mahiu is one such site where plans to set up a dry port are in high gear. And already tens of companies have committed billions of shillings to start operations around the proposed dry port. Already, the government has connected the port to the railway linkage, ensuring a seamless transportation of cargo from the port of Mombasa and destined to hinterland and neighboring countries.
Hii dry port, mahali imefikisha hii reli, tungetaka hii reli iende paka upande ya Uganda. Umesikia hiyo maneno? Sasa ni kumaanisha hii itakuwa ni mahali muhimu sana. Tukitengeneza vitu kutoka industry zile ziko hapa, tunatuma pande ya Uganda, pande ya Southern Sudan na DRC.
To ensure seamless connectivity in the corridor and complement the port, Kinyanjui says the move to dual the carriageway of the Rironi-Mau Summit Road is set to ease movement of people and cargo.
Zaidi ya niwaambie wakati hii barabara itafunguliwa, unajua sasa wageni wale ambao walikuwa kienda Masai Mara, kwa sababu hii barabara kuwa ilikuwa na msongamano kubwa sana, wengi walikuwa wametoka kutoka hii barabara. Kwa sababu ukipitia hapa hii njia ya Mai Mahiu, saa ingine unakuta malori imeshikana karibu masaa 5. Baadaye wanaenda kusema hiyo barabara is the most dangerous road. Sasa hiyo yote tunaondoa.
Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
In other news, players in Kenya's virtual asset sector expect operationalization of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Act to make Kenya a hub for blockchain technology in Africa. However, according to Virtual Assets Association of Kenya Chairman Dr. Peter Onyango, local players risk being locked out should regulators adopt a common licensing fee structure.
The enactment of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Act 2025 in October is seen as a strategic move which will make Kenya a hub for cryptocurrency trade and blockchain technology. Among industries where adoption of the technology is expected to impact is the financial services sector.
What the Act has done is basically given the mandate to the Capital Markets Authority and the Central Bank of Kenya to regulate the virtual asset industry.
However, the Virtual Assets Association of Kenya believes licensing of cryptocurrency firms should be based on volumes being handled by a provider to ensure local players are able to compete with large multi-international firms.
The expectation is for Kenya to become a global hub for decentralized finance. Expectation is that we'll have a big flow of innovators, both local and global, coming to Kenya, setting up, getting a license, building communities, making things easier for systems to work.
This comes as Kenya prepares for the Kajiado Africa Tech Summit 2026 that brings together Nigeria, Ethiopia, DRC, Rwanda, and Burkina Faso to champion community-led blockchain innovations.
The goal is to really spark long-term innovation. So there's not going to be big prize money. It's a structured program where we start with having developers just go out into their communities and just try to see their communities from a fresh point of view.
The winning innovation will secure funding for its blockchain solution besides mentorship and other support.
Kenya's Fluorspar mining industry is set to witness a revival following the signing of an engineering, procurement and construction contract for the refurbishment of the Fluorspar processing plant in Kerio Valley, Elgeyo-Marakwet County. The MOU signed between Sofax Fluorspar Kenya Limited and Mistec Group of China formalized the milestone with representatives of both parties terming it as a decisive step towards unlocking Kenya's mineral potential. The agreement is set to facilitate the elevation of Kenya's position as a supplier of Acidspar grade Fluorspar, which is a critical mineral used in manufacturing the electrolyte of EV batteries.
In the next 4 months from the time we start, the plant will be able to process, and we should be able to be making our first export of acid grade Fluorspar from this country.
This can take the project to the next level, where we will have the right facilities installed and Kajiado will then be able to start production and do what is good for this economy and for the community.
We believe by our cooperation between MISTEC and the SOFAS, we will make a very modern and international processing plant.
And on sports news, the Kenya national youth chess team that conquered the continent at the Africa Youth Chess Championship in Zimbabwe is back from Harare. Kenya won the African title for the first time ever 49 years after the tournament was introduced.
The Kenyan chess team that won the Africa title at the 2025 Africa Youth Chess Championship returned home to a heroic welcome at JKIA Nairobi from Harare, Zimbabwe. It was the first time Kenya had conquered the continent in chess since the championship was introduced in 1976. Kenya topped the overall standings out of the 16 participating countries with a record 10 medals, 4 gold, 2 silver and 4 bronze medals. Team Kenya won gold in the Under-16 Open, Under-14 Girls, the Under-10 Open and the Under-10 Girls categories. The silver came in the Under-14 Open and the Under-12 Girls, while the bronze medals were won in the Under-8 Open, Under-8 Girls, Under-12 Open and the Under-14 Girls categories.
I thank God for that opportunity to be there and the win, because I had a lot of fun. The competition was tough, met my Kenyans, learned a few lessons from the game, and I'm so grateful for that chance.
I don't say I used any particular technique. I'll just take every step one bit at a time, because once you prepare, you must always be ready mentally and physically. So I think that's just what I did.
It's one of the proudest moments of my career as a chess player and a chess coach, because Kenya for the first time emerged victorious, and it wasn't even close. We were the best country by a mile.
While we've made progress, the other country seems to have digressed. For example, South Africa got only 1 medal, and that was a big, out of a delegation of about 150 people, they only got 1 medal. So it shows you that, with the work we've been doing, the training, holiday training, even the training that we did before the team went, so it's paid off. And we are so happy for our boys and girls for giving us such a great performance and such pride to our country, yes.
Meanwhile, Clinton Ngugi was crowned champion of the second edition of the Kilifi Open Chess Championship with a score of 5.5 points. Ngugi won 5 and drew 1 of the 6 matches he played, winning the title ahead of Nur Mohamed Sajid, who was second with 5 points, while Muluda Chahindi settled for the bronze medal with 4.5 points. Concelia Awol won 4 of the 6 matches she played to win the ladies' title, beating Vanessa Iwogu and Deborah Owano, who were second and third respectively. Gavesh Kian won the under 15 years category with 3.5 points, leaving Alphonse Mwangi and Nirwan Hariri with the silver and bronze medals respectively. A total of 26 players took part in the 2-day championship.
Now, Donholm Seniors Football Club held its annual awards gala in Nairobi last weekend, with stakeholders calling on the government and well-wishers to support them financially as they embark on their robust expansion program to accommodate more retired footballers and youth players. Now, the team which won the Wazir Premier League title for a record fourth consecutive time this year is using football to bring a positive impact to the community in the Donholm area by ensuring both young and retired footballers engage in constructive activities. Besides winning the Wazir Premier League, the club also won the Donholm Super Cup. The best players and outstanding fans during the 2025 season were recognized during the awards. A group of retired professional footballers founded the club as a socializing platform and for keeping fit, but it has since grown and now boasts the best players aged between 30 and 50 years.
When now you retire from football, basically Donholm Seniors the age bracket is 35 years and above. So once you retire from football, and that we give you a platform to continue keeping fit and engage in a community, developing talent, and also to network and seize the opportunities that come along with networking. So basically, it's at 5 years and above, then you qualify to come and play for Donholm Seniors Football Club.
Once you're a sportsman, you always be a sportsman. So it is always good to at least to continue with the sport despite challenges that we might be having, either through injury. I mean, you might be suffering an injury or something, but it's always good to have your body active. So we hope to see more of this happening because actually, as I stated earlier, I've seen a great improvement.
Now, Gor Mahia's campaign to reclaim the FKF Premier League title today got a major boost after Kansai Plascon Kenya signed an initial partnership deal to support the league giants for a period of 1 year. The deal is estimated to be worth 5 million shillings.
This time from Kansai.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for choosing Lunchtime News. Our sign language interpreter is Anwangeshi. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Why are you experimenting with people's health?
Sasa hizi mambo gani ule matope ananiweka?
Wewe mwenyewe ndio ulisema kila mtu mahali huko akuwe mbunifu.
Kwani hata leo umepika?
Sasa hii mbulu inaenda, utajua kule utaipeleka. Na kama
Zindaona hata mezenji.